Greetings, community, and welcome to Entropy and Comics. Thank you. I'm your host, Kevin, and this is Kevin's most anticipated reads for New Comic Book Day 2026. It's great to be here. I appreciate each and every single one of you that cruise on through. I truly do. And to start off, let's cruise over and talk about Marvel Studios. Marvel is going to start off with Amazing Spider-Man issue number 22. This is the finalization finale of the Space Spidey stuff that we've been getting along with Hellgate, and we're starting off with the Death Spiral stuff. So it's a crescendo beginning. You know, my best way of putting it. We've been getting Hellgate storyline for more than 12 issues. It's about time we kind of put that to bed at rest at this point. And if we're not going to go ahead and finalize it, we might as well go ahead and put it to another rest until we get into another major event. Hey, before we talk about any more, let's talk over in Cruise 2. Agu, how are you? Las Cruces, look who beat you out. I'm just saying. How you doing? I appreciate you being here, buddy, always. And Jag, you too. Same. I can't appreciate you guys anymore. You're like my support crew. Just saying. You guys are like a three-legged dog here. All right, let's cruise out from that. And let's talk about Doctor Strange, issue number 3. I made mention of this many times before. If Doctor Strange would have just sat out a couple years ago, everything would have been great. He would have retained his Sorcerer Supreme moniker, and we wouldn't be having him defend his basically the fact that he's being kind of held accountable for Thor's death. There's so much going on in the storyline, and it's so thick, and now 2 years deep into storyline that anybody that's been reading this really knows that, wow, this is amazing how Doctor Strange had to go from defending himself and the whole blood hunt thing, giving up his Sorcerer Supreme to Doom, then battling it out, going over into Asgard mid-world, defending himself there, trying to pick up magic there, end up being held accountable for Thor's death, and then being thrown in yet another place and hanging out with Angela to further figure out another way here. This is so amazing and so just thick in the storyline I mean, it's hard to say that there's a jumping on point. There isn't. There really isn't. That stated, anybody that's a Doctor Strange fan, I highly recommend that you go ahead and you pick up the past 2 years of story arcs, just saying, in a trade, and you will not be disappointed. Doctor Strange is really living up to, I think, what its yesteryear storyline used to be in the sense of what it was based on. It is a solid read. The art is there, and I can't wait to get my hands onto it. However, it is not my blue light special. Let's move out from Doctor Strange issue number 3 and cruise out to Noel issue number 2. I've yet to read issue number 1. I bought like 6 copies of cover A, 2 covers of the blank cover, 2. I went heavy on this thing, and I know from all the reviews, issue number 1's good, and I can't wait to get down to issue number 2. I've yet to hear one person talk bad about issue number 2. That's not to say I've been trying to keep my ears out much because I want no spoilers. That stated, Noel's Noel, and he's back. And now that he has to figure out really his way back from being underneath Hella's hellish control in some regards, just trying to figure out a way here. And if Noel does, oh, wow, we're in for it. Just saying. So Noel issue number 2 coming out on 2/18/2026. This is a highly recommend for any hardcore symbiote slut like myself. Just saying. Move out from Noel issue number 2 and talk about Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 24. There's a finale of the Ultimate Spider-Man in this Ultimate Universe. I keep saying this. I made mention of this over 2 years ago, about 2.5 years ago, that then Marvel was not entertaining any ongoing series. None, no matter how good it was. And it caught a lot of people in Marvel off guard, even the writers and artists, that they weren't going to entertain this as an ongoing series. It was never meant to be. That stated, I was curious on how they're going to go ahead and bring this to an end, because some of the writers had no idea up until maybe, I think some of the earliest found out around a year ago that didn't already know. And then some of the latest ended up finding out just about 6 months ago. I knew this because of some of the people that I know that walk the halls, and myself have done so and heard some of the things that are going on. That stated, I am really hoping that they stick this landing. Ultimate Universe has been ultimate. It's been not as absolute has been, but it's definitely been rather ultimate as ultimate can be. See how I did that? So I'm looking forward to this Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 24, even though I haven't read 23. I am when it comes to endings, I have difficulties because it tends to be bittersweet, and they tend not to make my blue light special for that reason and that reason only. Just saying. Let's move off Marvel and let's cruise over to Dynamite. Dynamite's going to go ahead and give us Muppets New York, issue number 1. What happens when Kermit the Frog ends up doing a performance and then goes backstage and slips backstage while in the performance? Oh, he has a hardcore illusion? Nightmare knockout. Let's call it that. Of a hardboard detective that of yesteryear that goes ahead and has to solve a crime involving Miss Piggy and all your favorite characters. Yeah, I'm a Muppet fan. And when it comes to anything that's basically a short issue, and now that the Muppets are even back, I'm a fan. When it comes to nostalgia type stuff, I can't help myself. And when it comes to nostalgia stuff that hangs out in the New York type setting, well, I'm a sucker. I'm just saying. So Muppets New York issue number 1, I'm not only highly looking forward to, but I'm actually looking forward to trying to snatch up a couple of those variants. Hopefully a 1 in 25. That'd be most awesome. Let's move out from Dynamite and cruise over to Keen Spot. Sorry, no bumper. And Keen Spot's going to go ahead and give us Tim Seeley's super thick Lucky Tales. I ordered 2, but yet I'm looking. Anyways, basically, Lucky Tales is a story of like this anamorphic, half human type sexy thing. If you're into that kind of thing, it's cool. Tim Seeley does a good job on these type of erotic type tales and Lucky Tales. And being that they're super thick type tales, I think you get an extra bonus tale. I'm killing me. So I'm looking forward to not only that, but yeah, I'm into this type of stuff. So I end up picking up a lot of the King Spot stuff, and I end up digging a lot of the King Seeley type stuff. When it comes to what is it? I've been reading. Oh my god, my brain went dead, and I've been reading it for like about 3 years, 4 years now. The story of the scientist that go. My brain went away. So, anyways, yeah, I dig Tim Seeley's work. It's kind of tongue in cheek. He tends to go a little bit in the erotic side too, but he ends up telling normally a pretty good story. So I dig it, and the art tends to be pretty solid on this stuff. So I don't know. I'm a sucker for it. I dig it. Hey, let's move on from that and cruise over to Image Comics. Man, I've been a fan of almost everything Image of late. Just saying. Image Comics going to first give us Exquisite Corpses. Sorry. Please don't hate me, James Tanya. This has pretty much been my blue light special every time. I've been keeping up. Every time I say it's my most anticipated read, right after the show's done, I end up ripping it right open and I end up reading it right there. I'm just saying that. So I'll more likely end up doing it shortly after I end up reading this week's blue light special. However, this just missed out. I've been looking forward to a particular book and for a particular while and for kind of a particular reason. So that's why this one got edged out. However, that all stated. Exquisite Corpses, after this, it only has 3 more issues. I believe it's a 13 issue. 13 families fighting for who's going to go ahead and kind of control everything that there is within the United States and some fingers out there in the world. Think of it almost like an Illuminati thing. I didn't say that. Please don't come after me. Amongst the storyline, and that 13 families essentially control everything, and that every 5 years they come together, they pick a city, little type of small flyover place, in the middle of Middle America. And on Halloween, they go ahead and make that decision by an all-out battle royale. What they get a representative to go ahead and do their bidding for them, and the last one standing ends up seizing all for the next 5 years. Now, that stated, there are side bets and side hustles going on, and as far as the individuals on the inside are concerned, they're just looking to get the hell out. It's a free for all, death match for all, and even body counts matter. This is going to become a movie. This is going to become a card game, and this is ultimately definitely one of my just religious pickups that I can't put down, and it tends to be my most anticipated read every month. However, let's move out from Exquisite Corpses, issue number 10, and cruise over to G.I. Joe, issue number 19. Here we have a definitive crossover between Transformer-style storyline and G.I. Joe. No longer is it a G.I. Joe story. It is definitely a G.I. Joe Transformer storyline, and that's just the way I want it. Now that we're getting these full-on crossover, at least on the G.I. Joe side, I'm looking forward to bleed a little bit more over on the Transformer side, and hopefully by the end of the year, we get it full-on into the Void Rivals. That stated, we're getting more and more individuals that are being introduced to us that we know of yesteryear as far as characters that we enjoyed, loved reading, and now that they're being integrated in this new Energon universe, yeah, it's just awesome. So I am not only looking forward to G.I. Joe issue number 19, but unfortunately reading 18, which is right in that pile right there, close to the top. Just saying, yes, I'm a little behind on my reading, but hey, I read a lot of books. Let's move out from G.I. Joe issue number 19. Oh man, I'm loving this Energon universe. And if you're not reading already, I highly recommend it. And cruise over to Red Coat, issue number 17. There's another universe that I highly recommend. The Ghost Machine universe is just nothing but awesome. It's relatively recent, and any one of the books that you pick up, you'll thoroughly enjoy. However, there is a few of these books that do tie in together, and Red Coat is one of those books. Red Coat issue number 17 is now directly tying into some of the Geiger style storyline, because we're seeing how the influence of the Northerner is cruising out of his own timeline, which was cruising around everywhere, cruising into the Redcoat timeline, and then bouncing into the Geiger timeline. And it looked like Redcoat was chasing after him. I was way back in like 15. Now that we're getting to 17, it looks like they're not only still telling the storyline as what's happening in 17, it looks like they're bouncing back to 15, which is good because I've yet to read 16. I'm just saying, I can't wait to get into all of this stuff. It is such entertaining storyline to read. I really dig anything that goes back into historic timelines and kind of plays with how we view those timelines, because somewhat they're kind of subjective. We get the factual, stuff, and sometimes we get some of the mythical stuff, fabled. But when it's tied together and thrown and given to us in this kind of format, which is, comic. Oh, yeah, I can't get enough. I'm just saying. Red Coat issue number 17 coming out on 2/18/2026. Let's cruise over one more time and talk about the seasons. Issue number 9. Now, here we have a Rick Remender book that, in my opinion, is a far cry from any Rick Remender book that he's ever done. It's a storyline of, we have missing parents. Those parents were detectives. We have 4 daughters in that parent line that were birthed that are named after seasons. So we have summer, autumn, what was that, spring, and so we got all the kids. And they're all missing. Well, 2 of them are missing, right? God, it's been a while. And basically one of them has been able to, summer, I think it is, summer or spring. God, I even forgot. Has been able to save part of the family and discover the rest of the family. And it's wrapped up in this wild, weird circus that is hellish in its own way, seems demented and possessed, and it seems of pure evil. It sucks people into their own worst sins, their own worst desires, and it doesn't let them go. It seems like maybe the family kind of got sucked into this realm, and only one of which of the daughters has been able to shake some of the family members out. That's where we left with issue number 8, and that was, oh my God somewhere back in like October or something. So no wonder between the books that I read, so many, and the distance of time, so long, I can't quite remember exactly how it went. I'm just saying. Anyways, let's move on from the seasons, issue number 9, which again, there's a new story arc. Highly recommend picking up the trade. This is thoroughly enjoyable for those that like that really off the wall, whacked out, out of world, kind of third world type setting. And it really challenges the mind. But the cool thing that stated is there's many times there's these philosophical statements that break standardized philosophical tropes. And what I thoroughly enjoy about that is it challenges certain misconceptions about ideas that people have about, their ideas of what they think that, how to break down the simplicities of happiness. I'm just saying it really challenges certain ideas like that. And for that, because it has these little philosophical jabs and also challenges of what people think in a realistic world and then in their own mind and how they perceive it, really allows the reader to sit back and more than just what they're reading on a surface level to take in some of the underlining meaning. I'm just saying. Again, let's move out from the seasons, issue number 9, coming out on 2/18/2026. And let's talk about this week's Blue Light Special. Look at that. I made the transfer pretty good and everything. Ba-bam. This week's Blue Light Special is The White Sky, issue number 1. Now, the reason why I'm this week's is I've not only been following these guys for a while. The creative team is going to be doing a signing event by me, but it's another one of those dork phenomenons where like all of a sudden it's flying off the shelves before it's selling, and everyone's just like making even at the shop they didn't even have any cover A's. I'm like, what's going on? They're going to be here tomorrow. I know you ordered like a bunch of them. What the? Nope, sorry, no cover A's. Huh. But you guys got like 100 cover B's and 2 of the blank. I'll take 2 blanks. I'll come back for a cover B later. I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. Anyways, White Sky is a story of what if the world sky, instead of turn like orange or blue or even black, like we got in Noctera, what if it turned white? All white, pure white, hyper white. Well, that would really take everything out too, much like Noctera, but in the opposite manner. So instead of these demon beasts and all that, we've got ghosts. That's what we got. We got this post-apocalyptic world of ghosts where the sky is turned white. So different. I'm curious. Yes, it's going to take everything out. I'm curious how this is written. It seems so different, so unique, so odd that, yeah, I was as an individual that always tries to figure things out like this. I was trying to, all right, so where are they going to go with the storyline? And I couldn't have no idea where they're going to go. So that's probably piqued my interest for more than anything else. And I did get to flip through because I got privy to some of the pages without any of the dialogue. And wow, it seems very kinetic. There's so much action, and it not necessarily pulls you in, but it doesn't allow you to be just an audience member standing back. It allows you to see it safe at a distance where you know that you're not going to get taken out by one of these ghosts, but enough immersed to where you're like, this is uncomfortable. And that's how I like it, where you feel what they're trying to do. And it seems like there was a lot of discomfort trying to be displayed into the few pages that I was privy to. And that means to me, they did their job. Just saying. White Sky, issue number 1. Might be difficult to get, but hey, might be worth a try. So those of you that cruise on through, I appreciate you. Las Cruces, Jag, Agu, And anyone else that may have cruised on through, I appreciate you. I truly do. And hey, I just want to say that's it for me. Entropy.